Hi, everyone. Welcome to Dishing Drama with Dana Wilkie Uncensored. We have officially moved to Patreon. Here's a sneak peek of Dishing Drama with Dana Wilkie.
Come on, bitch, let's go.
Hi, you guys. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving week, and I'm really excited to continue our deep dive on Kris Kardashian, Jenner. So much more to do. I got a lot of feedback after last week's podcast episode because I had released it free, so it was great to hear everybody kind of getting inspired to chime in on things that they had learned or figured out and they weren't sure that I knew or I did know. One patron in specific actually went through and found all of these clips in Keeping Up with the Kardashian that actually land different, knowing what we know in last week's episode 157. So she was like, wow, Dana, after I listened to episode 157, I went back through Keeping Up with the Kardashian, and these clips I found landed different with the research that you did. And I want to share them with you so you could share them with the group. And they were so good. I was like, oh my gosh, wow, do these have like a whole different meaning, like a deeper meaning now that we know what we know? And so I'm going to play those and present those to you as part of today's episode. In addition to that, I'm going to talk to you about what other information came out of my research. As I mentioned, I read Jerry Oppenheimer's book about the Kardashians. I also did a dive on the tabloids in conjunction with Oppenheimer's information, and then stuff that we had aggregated in the Patreon in the past, gossip that we had learned, and used all of that to put together this dive. So I think you're really going to enjoy it. There's always more. I mean, every time I think I know everything, something else emerges. That's the fun of doing this all together. You know, we love doing this in the Patreon. It's what we do all day, is like just share information to get to the bottom of things. And boy, it's amazing where this stuff comes from, all over the place. Okay, so let's start out with some of these scenes I was sent just to get you in the mood for the rest of the dive today. This is Kris Kardashian in one of the Keeping Up with Kardashians talking to Bruce Jenner. Well, he's not Caitlyn yet, about how Kris Jenner felt the need to meet up with Todd Waterman to be sure that she wasn't missing out on a fantasy relationship that she never was able to fulfill. In the scene, she's telling Bruce Jenner that she's covertly reached out to Todd Waterman to try to reconnect with him to see how she feels. Now we see Kylie Jenner in the background dying as she watches her mom deliver this like speech to Bruce Jenner on camera, and Bruce Jenner is visibly upset. Now, we don't totally know, obviously, watching this scene, that Kris Jenner had cheated with Todd Waterman, per Todd Waterman, on Bruce Jenner when they first were together in the first, let's say, year that Kris Jenner is with Bruce Jenner. And by the way, remember, Bruce Jenner has come out recently in the docuseries, as I mentioned last week, saying that he was the main reason that Robert Kardashian didn't come as hard as he was intending against Kris Jenner, because Bruce tried to calm him down, because Rob Kardashian was so angry at Kris Jenner for destroying their family over Todd Waterman and the affair that he wanted, like he was going for blood. And it was Bruce Jenner who stepped in and said, listen, don't go for blood. I'm going to take care of Kris. You know, let's just come up to an amicable situation for the kids' sake. But meanwhile, Kris Jenner's rewarding Bruce Jenner's good deed by, per Todd Waterman, still seeing Todd Waterman and having an ongoing affair. Now, the scene I'm about to play you, it would seem, backs up Todd Waterman's story, which was, he said that at some point later in the Bruce Jenner relationship, she reaches out to him again, but doesn't follow through with seeing him And he wondered why. This time of all times, she didn't follow through with still hooking up and having an affair with him, because always in the past she did. And it turns out the reason was it was being covered on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, much to the obvious dislike of Bruce Jenner and Kylie Jenner, her daughter.
I feel this urgency to wake Bruce up and tell him exactly what happened tonight. Honestly, I have had a revelation. Obviously, this isn't easy. Tonight was the night that I had to meet up with Todd again.
Explain to me why you saw this app.
I wanted to tell you that tonight I realized I really appreciate you a lot more. I may have been fantasizing about somebody for the last 23 years that didn't really deserve that kind of recognition.
She went behind my back. I'm not excited about this, that's for sure. What an idiot you are. I don't even know how I can trust you. I can't believe you did this.
No, this is a good thing. This is like good news. I know, but this is definitely not the reaction that I thought I would get. Just trying to tell him how much I appreciate it.
So what Kris wraps up saying there is just showing him how much I appreciate him. Well, a lot of the fans thought that Todd Waterman was just an ex-boyfriend of Kris Kardashian's, not her lover that she cheated with, Rob Kardashian while they were married, Bruce Jenner while they were together, and shortly thereafter married. It's a little bit different to say to Bruce Jenner, hey, I called the guy that I already cheated on you with and my other husband with, to see how I felt about him and if I still felt he was the one after all these years. Huh? I mean, I would walk out the door and divorce her right there on that basis. Kylie Jenner probably had heard from Kourtney that her mom had cheated with Todd on her dad, Rob Kardashian, while they were still married, and she really resented her for it. Also, I'm sure she had heard via the grapevine that maybe Kris Kardashian had cheated with Todd on her dad in the beginning. So this scene, when you see Kylie's face, like she's dying. And I actually think this was a real scene. I think Kris produced it, but everybody else in the scene was really reacting to it. And Bruce calls her an idiot on camera and is obviously very upset. It doesn't seem like acting in the scene on this particular one, the way he's behaving. So I think Kris was in on it, but the other two weren't. But Jesus, how kind of sick when you think about it, right? To put your family through that on national TV. So I was also sent a really disturbing clip of Kris Kardashian flirting with her pastor. She's coming to him because she's super scared to be put asleep, and she does appear to be flirting with him. Now, normally, we might not think much of it, like, is it just a little silly thing for TV? But when you look back at how so many people were networking and socializing and meeting their husbands at these religious meet and greet groups, it gives a whole new meaning to Kris Jenner flirting with her pastor in this scene on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
If I think about it, I get really scared. I'm getting put to sleep, and it's elective.
I wanted to pray with you, though, about the nervousness, because you don't go in surgery alone. God, I'm asking that you'll calm her fear, let her feel your presence, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I love you.
I love you too.
You look so pretty. I mean, looking at you, it's like, why would you change a thing?
Oh, well, if you saw me without clothes on, you're my pastor, so that's not going to happen.
I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about that.
Did you catch that at the end? I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about that, the pastor says, about Kris Kardashian being naked. Yeah, so it just seems like very kind of inappropriate banter with your pastor, right? And given all of the roles Kris Kardashian has taken through the years with religion and kind of, I don't know, I guess utilizing religion to land men, this is sort of an interesting clip to contemplate. Well, then there's a scene where Kris Jenner finally gets her moment to, lash out at Kourtney Kardashian for being pissed at her mom for cheating with Todd Waterman on Rob Kardashian and destroying her family when she's older. And it plays out on a scene of Keeping Up with the Kardashian. But if you don't know, again, the whole story, you might miss what they're really talking about. So listen to this.
For some reason, you do not give mom the benefit of the doubt ever. You only remember with Todd or this or that.
I don't sit there and dwell about Todd.
You have your own Todd right now.
Right. I actually don't. I'm actually not married.
Right, but
And I'm not having an affair. You can compare one to the other. That's absolutely not true.
We all have different experiences with my mom. And I think it's not something really that my mom can fix.
I'm just saying, but don't be so hard on your mom.
So the reason Khloe Kardashian is sticking up for Kris Kardashian in this scene is because Khloe was so young, it didn't impact her in the same way that it impacted Kourtney Kardashian. And this is really apparent in Kris Kardashian's autobiography because she says that Kourtney Kardashian cried and cried and cried, and the girls were generally inconsolable, but the one least impacted was Khloe because she was the youngest at the time. She was the least connected to the family unit due to age that Kris Kardashian and Rob Kardashian Senior had together. But this scene does not age well for Khloe Kardashian, and I'm going to show you why in a few minutes. But I guess the takeaway here is, how dare Kris Kardashian say to her daughter, Kourtney Kardashian, "You're just like me, a cheater," and say it to her daughter, who she knows is scarred by the fact that she cheated, that Kris cheated on her father. I mean, it's horrific to do that to your kid. Not to mention not even applicable in the circumstance that Kris tries to do it. It's pretty shocking, actually, considering it's real. I mean, what a selfish thing for a mother to do to a daughter, to try to make the daughter feel that she's as low as her mother's lowest moment to make herself feel better. Now, here's a scene where Kris Kardashian says that Rob Kardashian Sr.'s ex is making claims on Khloe Kardashian's paternity. Listen to this.
Robert Kardashian's ex-wives accusing me of not being faithful when Khloe was conceived. Not true. But Khloe tells me all the time that she's really against doing a DNA test.
Khloe, why wouldn't we just do a DNA test? Once and for all, we have an answer. Like, this is the truth.
I
Done.
don't need an answer.
It concerns you. What?
Why is this doctor here?
Because we want to do a test that proves that Robert Kardashian was Khloe's real dad.
Oh, please.
I know.
You're just bending to the tabloids, honey. I mean, she's got to let this thing go. I don't think she needs to prove anything to Khloe.
People are out there saying that, like, your dad isn't your dad.
But I don't care what they're saying. Because everyone's calling me fat. Do you want me to go get lipo?
This is Dr. Teddy.
Seriously? My dad is Robert Kardashian. My other dad is Bruce Jenner. If you other people during the same time and you do not know, go on Maury. Like, I don't care.
Way to go, honey, on another good one. Let's hear it for Kris Jenner.
I think you inside feel like I don't like that people are saying this about me.
It's a reflection on
I
both
think
of us.
she
It's
thinks,
not-
though, that you're, like, trying to sneakily do it for her, but it's really for you.
My mom obviously wants her reputation to be clear.
I think that you're coming off so much like, this is all for you, Khloe. Everything I do is for you, when, like, you want it for yourself.
I do want it from.
She finishes that clip by saying, "I do want it for myself." But let's be clear, it's Kris Kardashian who is joking incessantly, allegedly, about Khloe Kardashian not being Rob Kardashian's daughter. And it becomes like a family joke. And then Rob Kardashian starts to joke about it himself, and in later years actually goes from joking about it to kind of wondering if maybe she cheated on him because she cheated so much when she was younger. And, you know, whereas he thought it wasn't possible at one point in their relationship, later he's like, it could be possible. Because let's face it, she cheated with me on the Golf Pro. She cheated with Todd on me. She cheated with Todd on Bruce Jenner. And Lord knows who else she cheated with, because look at the brazenness that she cheated. She went to a friend's house and had sex in their gym. I mean, under the pretense that they were working out. And this was a friend of Rob Kardashian's. At this point, OJ Simpson has said he's not Khloe Kardashian's father. Todd Waterman also confirmed he's not Khloe Kardashian's father. That leaves only one last candidate that people wonder about, and that is Alex Roldan, who was Kris Kardashian's hairstylist that she was very, very close with for many years. And Khloe Kardashian, I guess, has some physical things that look similar to him. And so the fans think he might be a candidate. Could be. On Keeping Up with the Kardashian, Kris Kardashian took a lie detector test and got a "she is telling the truth" result off this lie detector test when asked if Robert Kardashian was Khloe Kardashian's father. But I heard rumors that that test and the gentleman they used on the show is actually a person who can be rigged for television purposes. So I don't think we can really go off that. And it's kind of interesting that they never took a proper test with a DNA firm where they might get a big sponsorship. Maybe they just don't want to know. Either way would be my guess. I found this interesting because I thought that Bruce Jenner and Kris Kardashian had about a year relationship before they got married. But in this, Rob says that no, they got married within 3 months of really getting romantic with each other, although they'd known each other for many years, which means that she might have been cheating on Bruce Jenner while they were married, not just when they were dating. I'm dying.
Hey guys. Welcome to my last diary cam. So Bruce put together an amazing romantical weekend with my mom.
I got a chef coming to cook.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I knew you had these skills.
I know, I have tremendous skills.
Bruce always does really nice things for my mom. He, always comes through.
Is there anything I'm missing?
I think you're good.
All right, I'm going to get her nude and chase her around the house.
They got married after 3 months. So I'm sure he was, pretty romantical from the beginning. Bruce isn't the only romantic person in our family. I'm also very, very romantic. Adrian was in India for Valentine's Day, and so I called the hotel, and they put literally like a bed of flowers, like that high, no lie, all over the entire floor, the entire bathroom. Adrian was like crying. It was like, oh my gosh, what did you do? I got major points. All right, so this is my last vlog, and it's been, my first blogging experience. To see my family on television is pretty interesting. It's sometimes embarrassing when I turn on the TV and they're cussing each other out. All right, well, that's it, everybody. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed everything that I've said, and I hope to see you guys soon. Later.
An innocent Rob Kardashian Jr. at this time of this live. I met Rob Kardashian Jr. at an after party for Dancing with the Stars when he was on the show, and he was so quiet and just very, just quiet guy. Not very outgoing. I would imagine that based on that minimal experience I had with him, that being on TV and around TV at all times was really not congruent with his personality or his way. I think he probably got pressured into doing this kind of stuff. I just never got the sense when I was talking to him that night or even watching him that he was that interested in it. He really just seemed to want to go out with his friends that met him at the after party. And he was more concerned about that rather than trying to be a celebrity, and that struck me how difficult it must be. Rob was on that dancing show around 2011 when I saw him and met him at this after party. And this was like only a year after he had graduated from USC using the money that his dad had left him. And he was supposed to go on to law school. That was one of his dreams, but then he just didn't follow through with it. He was supposed to do that, I guess, in 2012, he was saying at the time. But then he never went, and I just wonder if he didn't miss something that would have been perfect for his personality, being that he liked to be an entrepreneur and didn't like to be a celebrity all that much. I don't think. That was my takeaway. Well, what you gonna do? Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot this one. Wait a minute. One more before we go. I know I said that was it, but one more.
Just don't let people me over, and when you cheat on me, you're gone, and you're not going to do it again and again and again. I'm sorry, that's not normal. That's not respect. That's not what boyfriends do to their girlfriends. So I'm not going to let someone do that. I'm being protective and loving you. I've seen this guy hurt you repeatedly. You come to me, and now I'm just supposed to act like none of that ever happened, and then I'm fine with everything?
I never said to act like nothing happened.
You need counseling. You need therapy.
Sorry, the clips keep cutting out. Therapy was what she was saying. That was Khloe Kardashian yelling at Kourtney Kardashian in an earlier episode, and kind of, I think, implying that the breakdown of the relationship with Robert Kardashian and Kris Kardashian in the way that it did might have affected her future relationships with Scott Disick, treating her like shit and her continuously putting up with it. Khloe Kardashian is like, I will never let a man cheat on me. Because it's the most disrespectful thing you can do, this and that. This is important for a few reasons. Number one, she does go on to have several men cheat on her in a pretty public way, and she, in some cases, continues to have a relationship with them. And number two, she's kind of saying this about her mother in a way, because her mom did this kind of cheating. So, and I would have to say her father's too, right? So all of that said, how do you think Khloe Kardashian feels about her mom being the serial cheater? She's telling Kourtney Kardashian never allow into your life because it's disrespectful. So now that I've done that exercise with the Keeping Up with Kardashian clips, I want to move on now to continue our deep dive on Kris Kardashian. So Robert Kardashian becomes a born-again Christian because his brother Tommy gets indicted for bribery charges in the family meatpacking company, which was full of corruption. For the full scoop, join the Dishing Drama Dana Patreon. The link is in this audio description. It's only $6 a month, and you'll get the best information and tea about the things you care about, and even the things you don't know you care about. What are you waiting for?